Wicked. Brrr. Oli Hyde.
Hello.
Oh man, so it's nice to finally catch up. Pax was, yeah? Pax put you on?
Yeah. Pax showed me some a video of you doing some qigong, and we did a little morning practice, and yeah, it was good, man.
Beautiful.
And I think I'd heard of you through sort of like, I think it's Nardine as well.
Yeah, nice. Good people. Two quality humans that you just mentioned.
Yeah, good music scene there going on.
How did you feel after you did the gong?
Good, really good. Yeah. It's something I haven't explored a lot of, but it's something that I definitely would love to explore in the future, you know. It's definitely been calling me, the qigong stuff. So I suppose meditating, something that I've been doing for a little while, but it's something that I haven't incorporated as a daily ritual as yet, you know. So that's something that's sort of been coming up for me in life as well, is the importance of meditation and also the different forms of meditation, exploring that.
So you've done a little bit already?
Mostly sort of just breathing meditation, maybe walking meditation, and you know, being out in nature, I suppose, is kind of my field.
Tell me more about that, about your, because I've seen you done some guerrilla tactics, and you got the kids involved as well.
Yeah, well, youth is my passion. Working with youth is my passion, and I feel that the youth of tomorrow are obviously going to be the new leaders and the new stewards of the planet, and I think it's probably one of the most important jobs is to sort of nurture and cherish the youth of tomorrow and the youth of today. And, we're obviously going through changing times, and times have changed very, very quickly in the last sort of 50 years, even 10 years, even, you know, compared to how it has before. So, youth have got a whole lot coming at them, you know, and I think incorporating a lot of the new age stuff with old stuff, indigenous ways and stuff like that is something that, and obviously a way to connect with youth. It's important to sort of, you know, incorporate all. I believe that we're a three-part being. So we're our body, but we're also a spirit and a soul and our mind, you know. Basically teaching youth, you have to teach them about the three aspects of our three-part being, you know. So there's no sort of, I guess there's no, in this day and age, there's no proper handbook, you know, for the human. We've got our scriptures and we've got our old, indigenous stories and sort of all sorts of sort of Eastern and Western principles and stuff that we learn about. But so I suppose so teaching youth is my passion.
When we talk youth, are we talking like 5 to 25-year-old? Like what age kind of bracket?
Well, I'm talking from, you know, 2 to, yeah. There's no age gap, you know. For people that want to learn what I teach, basically, Guerrilla Tactics started off as like a Primal fitness platform. So I was in the fitness industry for, 10 years and started developing more of that connection to nature, you know, barefoot, climbing, running, jumping. I suppose you could add, you know, the caveman diet stuff and all that. So I explored all of that and sort of came to see that children are very disconnected from that. That's just their physical, you know what I mean? With the video games and all that sort of stuff. So Guerrilla Tactics started out as like a primal fitness and a self-defense program that I would tour in schools and stuff, and basically just teaching kids strong body, strong mind, you know. And I started Guerrilla Tactics in 2011. So over the sort of 6 or 7 or so years, I have developed it further, you know, into a more of a mind, body, spirit program.
A bit holistic.
Yeah, so it's a holistic approach to health and fitness.
So
So
what's the some of the aspects, that, like, I guess the core principles or whatever that it's based on? I'm imagining it might be a principle based kind of teachings, or
absolutely, and there's no sort of, it's always developing, and there's no guidelines. So I suppose in this new age, with the access of all the information through our phone and YouTube, and just anything, we can like build a house from YouTube. We've got access to all this amazing information and stuff. So it's about always developing and always using new teachings and stuff like that. But there's 5 main sort of modules on the Guerrilla Tactics program that are targeted sort of primary to high school and high risk youth as well. So good in juvenile detention centres and the jail systems and all that sort of stuff for youth. But there's basically there's the primal fitness aspect, which is your body, and there's the connection to nature and training your body, and also embodiment practices. So there's all martial arts are included and stuff like that.
what kind of martial arts?
Basically, at the moment, it's the self-defense module is very sort of anti-bullying based. So it's basically just teaching youth how to stand up for themselves. So stand their ground, knowing that they have the right to defend themselves. So basically, for a lot of kids, even that, and especially ones that have been affected with trauma and all that sort of stuff, even just knowing that they can defend themselves in their personal bubble is a big thing, you know what I mean? Let alone teaching them how to strike out a cross or something when they feel they need to do that, if it ever comes up, you know what I mean? So that it's hard to explain when you watch a youth go through that and know that they can hit a pad, and it's very empowering to them, and it transforms them. I've seen the bully and the prey, the energies fully shift because the bully's seen this little kid be able to punch, So there's a self-defense aspect to the program. There's the primal fitness, there's the self-defense. So food is the big one. Food is a massive one, and just educating kids on basic whole foods and stuff, and what's good and what's not. Like, it's funny, you can give someone $50 and say, all right, go to the supermarket and get some healthy food, and they'll be like, oh, okay, I know avocado's healthy and a tomato, but what do I do with that? Like, I don't know what I'm getting, you know what I mean? So I suppose the way I teach nutrition is it's very hands-on. So it's demo. It's like, grab this, smell the twisties, and then smell the mango, and like, what does your body tell you, So I suppose, the whole thing about guerrilla tactics is learning all these principles and applying it to you, because there's no one perfect rule, you know what I mean?
100%. Yeah, some people
you have to learn to speak to your own body, because it speaks to you every day.
100%.
So there's the nutrition. Then there's basic yoga and breath work and stuff. So really basic stuff. So the mindfulness stuff. So not having that in your toolbox, and that sort of stuff. Kids can come and go from. You know what I mean? They might have been introduced to it early, and I've done this in school or something like that. But we've got to implement it more and more in school, like it's a thing. You know what I mean? So basic early meditation stuff. And mindfulness practices.
How do you go about? There's so many pieces that you've mentioned now. I just want to unpack it all.
Yeah. Go for it. I'm just flowing. I'm flowing.
Perfect. It's perfect. So in terms of the dietary stuff, I almost want to rewind a little bit and go, how do you structure all of this out? Is it like a 10-week, like you do it in a term at school, or you do it over the year?
At the moment, it's getting restructured, because it's sort of this stuff. In the last couple of years, I haven't been touring. So this is stuff that's been developed as I've been doing other stuff, So at the moment, I'm sort of, I was based on the Gold Coast for 12 months, and was doing a little bit of toddler tactics stuff, which is the toddler version of guerrilla tactics. So
how does that work? I'm curious about that. How do you package that in terms of?
Okay, so
imagine these broader concepts. How does that? Because I have toddlers at the moment, or
right.
My son is just gone to school, so he's just a bit beyond toddler.
Yeah.
But, they're quite small people, and just the attention span isn't always great, and
Absolutely. And that toddler tactics was something that just sort of really organically formed one day on when I was at my jiu-jitsu school on the Central Coast, and one of the instructors hadn't turned up or something, and I was there doing something, and all the parents were like, "Oh, you know, are you taking the class? Are you taking the class?" And I sort of went, "Oh, no," and but something inside me just went, "Yeah, just do it," you know. So I took all these little toddlers through these sort of just animal movements and stuff like that. And it just, the parents were like, "Oh, when's your class?" And da-da-da-da-da. So it just sort of formed in a matter of 40 minutes, you know what I mean? But basically, with toddler tactics, it's a class where they learn the balance and coordination and sort of correct movement patterns and stuff like that. But it's about self-awareness and having fun and sort of team building stuff. But you're the facilitator, you're the heartbeat of it. So, you know, you've got to, it's most of it is imagination. Do you know what I mean? So it takes a certain person to be able to hold space for 10 to 15, 12 toddlers, you know, that are all do. So I learned quickly on the field that, all right, I have to drip feed certain equipment, you know, and not just put everything out. And, you know, I have to sort of put one and then boom, and then create a new scenario over it. But all in all, it's about them having fun. So they're dictating, they're like, "Oh, and the monster will come from over here." And you're like, "Yeah." So you basically freestyle this session. And there's this element of imagination through it, right? So one kid can jump over this thing, but the next kid can't. He's only just standing, you know what I mean? But that's cool, because him just being around this energy a moment is way enough for this kid, you know what I mean? So with toddlers, you're totally engaging with them in this imaginary game world, and you've got the tools in your toolbox, you know what I mean? And you're sort of drip feeding stuff. And I structure it out. So I'll just go like 15 minutes this, 15 minutes that, 15 minutes that, and sort of just, you know, but within that, there's all these other little things going, and kids are, you know, running over here and running over there. And a lot of parents, the thing is, it's about, a lot of parents want to jump in and sort of go, "Hey, listen to Oli," or da-da-da-da. And it's like, it's okay. It's not about them, you know, it's about them exploring and sort of doing their own thing. It's about me facilitating this safe space and environment and keeping it going. You know what I mean?
Have you had any like nightmares, or like in terms of like, you know, things falling apart or kids getting into fights with one another? Or
well, there's always the element of like injury, you know what I mean, and the kid sort of falling over and how the parent reacts and stuff. But you know, it's all done on sort of
you get waivers signed.
yeah, absolutely. But yeah, look, the thing with guerrilla tactics also over the years is really almost pushing the boundaries with that OH&S and really, you know, doing it. I've had teachers look at me and sort of, you know, wanting to shut down certain things, and, you know, I don't think this is a bit violent, or, you know, like showing a self-defense move, or telling the kids to
such as what, like a rear naked choke or something, or
no. It's more designed just on pad work and learning like a jab cross, and then being able to sort of protect yourself. The big thing is the protection. Because a lot of people will naturally go into fetal position, and then, you know, you're sort of prone to attack or whatever. So first of all, the first self-defense is, you know, if something's going to happen, get out of there. Yeah. Get out of there, you know what I mean?
Disengage.
But I teach them more how to, you know, protect themselves, and it's very sort of elementary boxing stuff. Yeah. But if they start practicing that, they know they've got that that powerful ability, you know what I mean? So it gives them empowerment. Yeah, it's really transformational. And if they want to take it up out of school, they can, you know, because, I mean, martial arts is, you know, through the ages of time has sort of told us that, you know, the benefits of it, the discipline benefits, and, you know, all the other stuff. But, and especially for males, young males, it's good, you know, like the sort of training in schools has been taken out. You know, I do a lot of boxing and wrestling in the US and stuff, but there was nothing sort of here. And, you know, and I think there's a place for friendly wrestling and stuff like that, and growing up with the, you know, in that, it comes down to a community thing and how we would have engaged with ourselves growing up and sort of testing our skills, and, you know, that friendly sort of wrestling matches and stuff that big families usually do with the boys and stuff, you know.
100%. So it sounds like in terms of the toddler stuff, just to rewind a touch, that some of the principles that correct me if I'm wrong, but from what you've shared is like things like fun, imagination, engaging the imagination, and making sure they're having fun, and making sure there's a safe space. Is that kind of cover it, or is there a bit more things that you kind of drip in there?
Well, we go through sort of human movement and stuff. We play games, and we all engage. So there's that team building and stuff. But the big thing about toddler tactics, which is, this is the new key, all right, is that at the end of the session, 5 minutes before, I call all the kids in, and we all sit cross-legged, around in a circle, and we all sit there, and I say to them, all right, give me 5 fruits. And they'll yell out apple or orange. And every time I'm really animated about that. I'm like, oh, I love apple, I love orange. Oh, it makes me feel strong, you know what I mean? Or I'll do a handstand and I'll just, so these kids are looking at me like, oh my God, fruit. And look at how it makes this guy feel, you know what I mean?
Yeah, nice.
And I say, all right, cool, vegetables. And we yell out the vegetables. And I'm like, oh, so these kids are sort of, we sort of finish with a bit of a discussion, a semi-discussion about fruit and veggies. And it's all about how I react, because the best teacher is leading by example. Do you know what I mean? So sometimes I'll rock up with a banana or an apple, or I'm like, oh, I'm ready, this made me feel amazing, So it's being that animated role model for them as well, you know what I mean? So it's kind of, it's something just fell into place, and it has sort of been really sort of successful, I suppose. It's a toddler tactics.
Nice one. And is that, I love it because I'm the similar, like even I was talking to someone yesterday, another martial artist and Qigong and Neigong teacher, Damo Mitchell, awesome bloke. Yep. And he mentioned that, he said, he doesn't work with children, he works with 18 and up. So it's nice to chat with you now to, toddler tactics and work with youth. So it's like that. All right, cool. We get to cover both. But he was talking to me about, he doesn't want to kind of traumatize kids by making them do these hardcore poses for like sit there for half an hour or sit there for an hour doing this one pose. It's like difficult because it can be quite traumatizing on the mind, especially in that 13 to 17 age when all the emotions are changing.
Yeah, absolutely.
The hormones are changing, and
it could be a lot of fractures at that age.
And but with my son, he's asking me to do 30 minutes. Like the other day, he asked me, can we do 30 minutes today, Papa? Because we usually do 20 minutes meditation. And because I trade it, so I trade him, he gets to have the tablet for each minute that he does meditation. So he's got the association, like, oh, if I do the thing, then I get the thing that I like, so he can have a bit of balance of mindfulness and presence, and also of escapism, and just do whatever the hell he wants, and which is kind of cool. But he was saying that, it's kind of like, we were both discussing, it's kind of like positive kind of brainwashing almost, like instead of giving them the twisties and just go over there and be away from people. It's like, all right, let's be present. And similar with you with the fruit and vegetables, like go and get animated. It's like, oh, cool. They've got the positive associations with the healthy options,
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a great thing.
Absolutely.
And I guess, what do you learn? Like, I'm curious, you must learn a ton working with these kids, like from where you've been at the beginning of your, 2011 to now, what are some of the big things?
For sure. And that's every time I'm with youth and stuff, I'm learning, and I'm people watching every day, and I'm researching, and I'm writing, and I'm sort of I've got this thirst for knowledge. So I'm constantly learning. And over the years, I've had sort of paradigm shifts about stuff. You know what I mean?
Such as?
The way that guerrilla tactics developed, I was very I came into the fitness industry, and I was very about sort of that body, and, and it was around about, just around about the time Avatar came out, and I was in this gym, and my whole, it just didn't look right. It was very domesticated, this sort of space, and it was like, that's not the machine, we're the machine. And that's where I, started to change my, basically perception, and open my mind onto what we sort of really were, and and how to train our bodies, and so that whole Primal fitness door opened. You know what I mean? So it was very body based, but then over time it's become mind and spirit as well.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
The Avatar got you, huh? You watched the Avatar, like, there's the other aspect.
Avatar activated me crazy. my mum saw it and said, "Oh, Ollie, you've got to go and see this movie." And everyone was going on about this movie. And I thought, so I went and saw it, and just, the emotion that was coming up, and just like, you know, with the 3D glasses. And then as soon as it finished, I had to go and I ran out of the cinema, and I had to look for a tree. I just needed to see. It was a really bizarre feeling of just like, wow. But yeah, that movie was great. It had a lot of universal truths in it. And
it is a good one. It's definitely one that is great for everyone. It really opened a lot of people's minds to those different aspects of reality of the universe. You know,
absolutely gave a bigger picture. Yeah,
I really enjoyed it. In terms of other kind of inspirations for you, do you have other people? Like, I know there's other movement specialists. You know, your guys like Ido Portal. Are you into any of these kind of people?
Yeah, you know what? Like, I started doing this stuff, guerrilla tactic. I'm not going to sort of big note myself, but before it sort of became mainstream, you know, and I just thought, wow, it's almost like that. I don't know, the ESP thing, you know, what's happening on this side.
The 100th monkey.
That's the one. Yeah. So the fitness industry started changing, and so I sort of started moving on to other fields of mind and spirit and stuff like that. And you know, what's good about these days is open source. Do you know what I mean? If you've worked out the way, share it, because we're all one. You know what I mean? So breaking into what was I saying?
So were you saying with working with other people, like, is that's not something you've been like influenced by, like other people doing the similar stuff?
Well, look, I haven't tapped into, you know, I haven't done a lot of research into what's going on, but I've seen what's going on over the time in the fitness industry and sort of, you know, the whole primal fitness thing. And I suppose what's always spat me back out is to working with youth, you know, and I hear these programs going on and stuff like that, and it's like, yeah, that's great. I mean, I suppose the worst thing with the youth, especially when you go into a rural community or something, is you go in and you kick up some dust, you know, and you sort of change a few lives and stuff, but then the dust settles. And, you know, the whole sustainable thing about these programs and stuff, that's why I believe we need to change the curriculum of the schools, you know. So, and, you know, there's talk about it coming up now, and we're teaching kids how to grow food and stuff like that, and even like building those earth ships and stuff like that, teaching kids that sort of stuff, and incorporating a mind, body, spirit practice into schooling, you know. So I've sort of been looking a little bit at, you know, Rudolf Steiner stuff, and the whole, there's another school, Shishida schools, the Japanese influenced one, and, you know, there's one on the Gold Coast called Arcadia and stuff. So there are these new agey sort of schools and stuff, but we need to get into the mainstream curriculum and just add in a few things, you know what I mean? Because it's all designed to you know, sort of just
create machines to run the machine, to create robots actually to run the machine, right? The capitalistic kind of.
That's it. And we're so much more than that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We are so much more than that. And it's like some of the stuff I've got to teach kids, it's like, well, where's your 4-year-old? Let's start giving them this stuff now. You know what I mean?
All of those things, physical, like you said, physical, mind, body, even the big one as well, like, because it's something I'm doing with my kids' school as well, coming in and teaching mindfulness. But I feel it's kind of, for me, I'm hamstrung a little bit in that one to one or one to group, you know, like I can't be everywhere. I can't be in the 1,500 schools around Australia. So, you know, like going in and teaching the teachers how to teach the mindfulness is much more effective, you know. So
that's the thing.
You know, so I think that is the movement, you know, like actually here's a program to do a bit of personal or, you know, development for the teachers, like professional development, for the teachers. So then they've got more tools to their tool belt. So the English teacher, the science teacher, or the art teacher can then go, all right, by the way, at the end of the class, we're going to do 15 minutes of this guided meditation, or we're going to do some 15 minutes of movement at the end of this class, you know, so that everyone's equipped with those tools in themselves, so that we don't have to be everywhere, you know?
Absolutely. So I suppose my vision is to write a certain curriculum. And then obviously for this new curriculum, that will take time to change, you know, things take time to change, and it is changing. But to have this new kind of curriculum, you're going to have new teachers, or you're going to have teachers that understand, you know, that their consciousness has shifted and they've sort of, you know, awakened to what, you know, where we need to go. And it's like, well, why are we still listening to people that run, you know, the education system and, you know, the political system and stuff that's still digging into the earth and stuff? Like when we can access free energy and all this sort of other amazing stuff that are going to benefit the planet, why are we still following these people or saying yes, or you know what I mean? So we need to just, I suppose teach the youth how to, you know, educate them on all the, you know, put all the cards out in front of them so they can make educated choices, because they're going to be coming in with this newer consciousness and stuff. You know, the old ways are just going to seem weird, you know, even like 50 years ago compared to what, you know, what we were doing in certain industries compared to now is just like prehistoric. Mm-hmm. It's like, oh my God, what were we thinking, you know?
And even now, like I look around me and I just see like cables and I'm like, what is this prehistoric? You know, like this is ancient. You know, I imagine that, like, I don't know if you like these Atlantis or these lost, forgotten cities or whatever, like I'm surely they didn't have all these cables, you know, plugged in, surely.
Yeah, it was all wireless. We're not there yet, but we're heading there.
It's a fun thing, and I love the enthusiasm and the energy that you bring. Like it's very contagious, and I imagine that the kids would love that. And that's, you know, like you said, when the parents came to the class and they're like, "Oh, when are you gonna?"
Yeah,
you know, we love this. So that is something that there's a lot of people out there that have as well. I know that there's a lot of people out there who really love working with youth. So for you, do you have like a team? You know, like you said, you got the vision to write the curriculum. Is there like a team of people that you can then teach this stuff and let it kind of spread, like your school and your, like the toddler tactics, guerrilla tactics, to go and spread out in the world? Or
yeah, I mean, I was thinking of, you know, I was going through all this trademarking stuff, and, you know, this was a couple of years ago, and sort of to, you know, actually go for this hard out. But I've had to do some other sort of spiritual journeying and stuff like that, and other family stuff that has sort of steered me off that course, you know. And right now I'm in this transition. Like I've been on the Gold Coast and sort of living in my van. So I'm on the Central Coast now, but I think I'm going to come back here, and because I've got to establish, you know what I mean? Because it's sort of been up in the air for a couple of years. But like I said, there's been a lot of development on it. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I've got to sort of set a structure and then go out with my feelers and then attract certain, you know, and you know, there's no, I'm here to talk to everyone, you know what I mean? There's no set community group or anything like that. Like I said, my passion is just helping youth and just, you know, finding them wherever they are, whether they're on the street or they're high-risk youth or, you know, just school kids, toddlers, whoever.
Yeah, you know? boy. And like paint a bit more of that vision, that curriculum. Like what were your thoughts on that, or what have you developed thus far, and where do you see it going?
Well, there's the 5 main cores of guerrilla tactics, right? Which is your primal fitness, your self-defense. Okay, there's the nutrition, there's the basic yoga and mindfulness practices, meditation, breath work, all that sort of stuff. But then there's like there's a goal setting and leadership principles sort of module about it. And I suppose that starts to tap into the whole quantum mechanics thing and designing your life. It's like, okay, here you've got your body and your spirit stuff, and that'll always continue to be studied and learned. But he's actually designing your life, and here's how to do it. You know what I mean? Here's some goal setting principles and you know what? Even getting kids to just start thinking and dreaming big. And giving themselves that belief that they can, you know, I want to, rather than having sort of small stuff that they want to goal set for, they start getting bigger and bigger. And it's like they can see, you know, if you start them off early, when they're older, they're sort of creating this quantum signature they don't even realize they're doing, you know. So,
rather than you know, it's I want that new Barbie doll, or, you know, like, or that RV car or whatever it is. It's like, oh, actually I would like to I don't know, get rid of all the litter in the world, or, you know what I mean, like that kind of thing.
Or just
I want to plant 1 million trees, or
that's it. Start making quantum signature you know, putting out there what they want on higher consciousness.
Mm.
Do you know what I mean? So they're
conscious curation of reality.
That's it. And, you know, so yeah, I suppose the goal is to sort of come back to more of that all is one, you know what I mean? And community and stuff like that. And so, yeah, you can sort of see it happening. People are starting to wake up to that we've sort of lost that connection, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, guerrilla tactics is the holistic approach to sort of connecting back with that.
Tactical. I love it's tactical.
Tactical.
In terms of what you need, I guess, yeah, like what kind of people are you trying to attract? What kind of what key components or people do you see that you need in place or that you'd like to attract into this vision in order to bring it to reality?
Well, anyone involved with schools, communities, anyone involved with youth. You know what I mean?
So is this like ministers for youth, or is it like teachers? Is it Steiner school teachers, or like parents?
Well, definitely want to create an awareness of it to all of the above there. Yeah, for sure. Ministers of youth. All the people that control government stuff, government funding. Yeah, but I haven't really sought for funding for a few years, so I haven't tapped back into that, sort of put my hat on with that approach, you know. So I'm sort of, I've got to maybe even, you know what, even just sometimes getting kids off, you know, from hanging outside the supermarket and going, hey, do you want to, you know, guys want to come and, you know, do some boxing or something, or, you know, hey guys, you know, let's go climb a tree or something like that. You know what I mean? Like sort of just engaging youth and stuff when you're in public as well.
Yeah, nice.
That's another little good one.
I imagine that, there'd probably be a bit of like red tape and stuff like that you'd have to go through a lot of the time. And
absolutely. Like I said, there's a fine line. Previously at schools, there'd be teachers that have been working for, you know, 30, 40 years or whatever, and sort of right in that old school way, you know, don't approve on some things, you know, just because the whole OH&S is so heavy, you know, like you can't even run in school now. You can't do a handstand. You can't sort of play with balls here and there. And, you know, it's kind of just, it's gone a bit weird.
Yeah, this is strange. It is strange. Like that's the gymnasium. Only run in the gym. Or,
yeah.
Well, there's a whole. It's a playground, isn't it? Isn't that the whole?
That's it.
That classroom for me, outside of the classroom, is playground. Anywhere.
That's it. You know,
there's a lot of concrete too, as well. So I guess it makes sense that, you know, with the falling and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, it's sort of. I reckon it just does more damage than what it's actually trying to, you know,
like trying to confine people and. I guess it's a bit of that nanny state thing as well. Like, especially here in Australia, it's very kind of nanny state, you know. And
it's very overregulated,
very rules based, and do what we should do, and like even just the ridiculousness of like the amount of fines we can get just for like parking in the wrong place or going 5 kilometers above speed limits, and all this kind of thing is ridiculous.
I know, it's insane.
I guess it's an interesting thing, but it is changing. What's some of the exciting things, those developments that you're hearing about? Like you said, this Arcadia school and this other kind of places. Like, are there any other kind of things that you're excited about that you're seeing coming into place?
I think, you know, more what I'm hearing about is more places and little schools and places like that are doing more mindfulness stuff, meditative stuff, learning about you know, growing food and having veggie gardens and stuff like that, which is great for the really young kids and stuff. But I suppose I haven't done a lot of research into like the more high school stuff, but that's something I'd like to look into. But I believe the guerrilla tactics program, you know, it can be structured in a way that can be used at any school. You know what I mean?
And would it be a year-long curriculum, or is it like a term thing, or like how?
Well, previously I was doing sort of like term programs. You know what I mean? And you spend sort of 2 weeks on one module, and you do some stuff like that over the term. But like I said, you go into a school and you do this thing on term 1, and then by term 3, it's, you know, it was just a memory. You know,
the dust settles.
That's it. So you have to come back. You have to come back, and you have to keep coming back. And the only way do that is to incorporate it as a curriculum, so you don't have to be there. You know what I mean? So when it's structured and always being updated, it's just, I suppose it's a new initiative for a new curriculum for the youth. And then I often hear things from other people that might have challenged my beliefs, or so I've always got that open mind, and I'm always like, yeah, and I'm always trying to see things from a higher understanding, and I suppose I've basically chosen to sort of go into working with youth and stuff because I resonate with them so much.
100%. Is it? You mentioned earlier that you do a lot of writing and stuff. Is any of that can we find that anywhere?
I've actually just started in the last few months. I mean, I've written here and there and journaled and stuff over the years, but it's something that's taken me a long time to create a habit in. And I've really, really started to do it this year because I've found that creative flow through it. You know what I mean? So I'm not a one-trick pony in the sense that I'm just writing short stories, I'm writing poetry, I'm writing songs, I'm doodling, I'm drawing again. I've got, like, everywhere I go, I take a sketchbook and I take my little notebook. I just sort of always got it with me, always got my pen, and any idea or, anything I see, anything I just record, you know what I mean?
Beautiful.
But I have been, trying to explore that creative writing and just sort of, it's something I just broke free from. I had that sort of, okay, you're looking at the blank page. It's like, oh, I've already got a block. What do I do? And it's about just letting go, getting that flow, and just sort of letting it come on. And you might write 5 pages, and then there's like one paragraph on the 5th page that's just gold. You know what I mean? And that's the beauty of writing, and that's art. You know what I mean? It's just a creative expression, and I think it's a connection to like something higher.
100%.
So, that's
being unattached to what it is, or like, getting rid of that perfectionism, or it has to be, and judging, like that can be the trap. Like when we're writing, it's a totally like this kind of right brain, as you would say, like, this creative thing. Often people want to like then analyze it and edit it with that logical side of the brain at the same time. They're totally two different things. So like, getting in and just letting it flow, and then if you want to edit, come back later.
That's it.
Utilize that side of the brain,
That's it. And that's, they're the things I've been tapping into and really learning about. And that's like I was saying, YouTube, man. YouTube for anything.
Learn everything. That's the school. That's the new.
I've been saying it for years. It's the school of YouTube, and it's just like amazing what you can learn from YouTube.
What's some of the things that you've learned from all the?
Oh man! Look, the amazing thing. I could be sitting in a seminar in like New York with some, leading trauma doctor, and then I can just flick it over, and I'm like, watching some yoga sequence from India, and then flick it over and watch some doco from some. You could just, it's just endless, and you go down the rabbit hole, and I suppose I really get a lot out of watching seminars and docos and stuff like that, and going down the rabbit hole, whether it's extraterrestrial stuff or anything really, anything, spiritual practice, stuff on scriptures and stuff. And I'm constantly reading. You know what I mean? I'm always reading books, self-help books and spiritual-based books, and books of biographies of great masters and stuff like that. So I'm sort of taking in all this stimuli and sort of putting it into my backpack, and I'm going, I'm going to use that now, or use this.
It's 100%. It's a quality habit to get into. Is having that, even just 20 minutes a day. Just making it a habit is just one of the most powerful things.
Absolutely.
And as well, then that trickling over to ourselves and going, because we like can consume all of it, and then we're like, fuck, I want to create my own stuff and leave my message out there in the world. That starts creeping in after a while. You're like, oh, this I could do this. Or like you read something and you're like, this is terribly written. You're like, I can explain this way more simply.
Yeah, absolutely.
What was the core or the key messages you'd like to leave, like the youth, if anyone either has children or any kids who are listening to this, what would be some of the core messages you'd like to share with them?
Well, something just came to mind. The universe will only deal out to you what you can handle in one day. But I suppose the message is that it's all good. It's all good. I think living in faith over fear, and then showing them, because the only two things that we come to this planet with, the only two fears that we come onto the planet with is the fear of loud noises and the fear of being dropped. So as a little baby, they're the two things that we're programmed. The only two things with fear. Everything else is learned. You know what I mean? So as long as you get some earplugs and you've got walking down, then everything should be fine. That's it. But yeah,
I guess the circus, the trapeze, they got legitimate fears,
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, no, everything else is, just programmed, and it becomes our perception.
And I guess programming is also, if something can be programmed, it can be deprogrammed, right?
Absolutely. It's like, yin and yang, night and day. This the divine dichotomy.
100%. And yeah, man, in terms of like finding you, where do we go to, if anyone wants to look you up and get in touch, or, are you available to like do the toddler tactics or guerrilla tactics in schools anywhere, or with
absolutely
or classes, or?
Yep, I'm in the process of establishing myself now in Sydney.
Yep.
Or just out of Sydney, but in the Sydney region.
Whereabouts? Just out of Sydney?
Yeah, Central Coast.
Like whereabouts?
Sort of Gosford, Woy area.
Cool.
But yeah, we'll be mainly around the Sydney.
Will you be coming to the more central suburbs of Sydney as well, or?
Yeah, absolutely. At the moment, I'm in a bit of a nomadic sort of transition.
Mobile.
So,
Bit mobile.
Yeah. So I'll be going around Melbourne, Sydney, Gold Coast, Brisbane, and stuff. So that's kind of the coast that I'll be working on the next few years.
Beautiful.
Yeah, but I will be basing myself in Sydney.
So are you online? Are you got it?
So I've got my website is guerrillatactics.com.au.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, so you can check it out there. It's just sort of lets you know what it's all about and stuff. I'm on Facebook.
Yep.
Oli Hyde.
Spell it for us.
OLIHYDE. Oli Hyde.
Perfect. People can just hit you up and
hit me up. More. Any questions, anything, any information. I've got the Facebook page, Guerrilla Tactics. I've got the Toddler Tactics page.
Nice.
I have got Instagram, but I haven't been using it a lot,
Yeah.
It's sort of like...
there's so much. It's so much to deal with.
Social medias, yeah. But I've sort of taken a bit of a break over the last few months from the social media presence, you know what I mean?
So in terms of that, they can there's a contact form, I imagine, on the website.
Yep, absolutely.
Beautiful.
My number is 0423 653 265.
Beautiful.
Any questions on youth? Anything? Any help I can be to any youth anywhere, all over the country, all over the planet. That's what I'm here to do.
Beautiful. So for the international guest, that's +61 at the beginning.
Yeah, +61. Yeah.
Awesome, brother. Thank you so much for joining us, and I look forward to meeting up and
absolutely
having a play, getting some movement on, and just seeing what you do in person. Just it's exciting stuff, and thank you for doing it. I love your energy. I love your enthusiasm, and the fact that you're out there doing it. A lot of people can have these ideas, but then do nothing about it. So it's great to see people actually engaging and bringing thoughts and ideas and actually putting them to practice in the world. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. It's been great. Yeah, be good to catch up with you in person.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's, like I said, have a play. I love sort of movement, mindfulness. That's my jam, So
awesome.
Definitely would love to just share notes and compare notes, and I'm sure
absolutely, man.
Stuff you can teach me,
absolutely,
and we could definitely vibe on that flow. So
love that.
Yeah, boy. All right, brother. You have an amazing one, and look forward to it. And thanks for tuning in to the Flow fam. Until next time, guys, keep the flow growing and the growth flowing.